All right, guys, let's talk about guns for a little bit and just do some random talking while I'm driving here. First thing I want to start out with, there's going to be a change in plans to the shower gun setup. I got enough comments and different things that made me second guess putting a gun into the shower box. Not for any reason that I couldn't have it safely and know how to use it safely. The reason being is that not only would it be exposed to a virtual torture test of moisture and steam coming off of the hot water, even the screws that hold the magnet up in there, somebody was telling me about, I would have to probably go get decking screws for outdoors so that those screws wouldn't rust up in there. So I really don't want to put holes up in that ceiling inside the shower box. So I've got a new place that I can put the magnet that's right next to the shower. I think it'll work out great, guys. I think it'll be perfect, and I'll show you guys and I'll let you see what you think. I'll have that video up real soon. But guys, I heard something very disturbing, and I have to look into it because I don't know the full facts of the matter. But from what I heard, I was watching Mark Levin's podcast. I really like watching podcasts or listening to podcasts when I drive. I don't really listen to music anymore. I like podcasts. But anyway, he said that Biden's press secretary has confirmed that he will be using executive orders for gun control. But I say it's executive orders to restrict our rights. Now, I've seen guys on YouTube say, oh, he can't do that. There's no way. I'm telling you, he's going to try it. Now, what could end up happening is he could use an executive order, okay? And then when the next time a Republican gets in there, that could be scrapped very easily. It's supposed to go through Congress to do any kind of restrictions. But Biden is going to try to restrict our guns using executive order, and hopefully that'll go all the way to the Supreme Court. We've already had states like Florida and different counties and cities and different towns that are saying around the U.S. that we will not comply with any new gun restrictions. And I love hearing that. Sheriff's departments, where the sheriff is getting up and saying, I will not comply with any more gun restrictions that's not already on the books. We have enough restrictions already. Let me get into that for a little bit, guys. Did you know this? I can look it up if you want to. Hunter Biden lied on the ATF Form 4473 when he purchased a firearm. This is basically what happened, guys, how that he lied and how it came out. And it's, there's no question as of did he or didn't he. Basically, at the time he purchased a firearm a few years back, when he filled out a Form 4473, there is a question on you asking you about drug use and being addicted to different substances and things, and he wrote no. And now he comes out and he's doing a book and he tells everyone, basically he states that at the time, that at those years he was addicted to hardcore drugs. I feel he still is. He claims he doesn't do drugs anymore, but I think he probably still is. I don't know. I'd have to see proof that he's not, because I just think it's too much of an easy call for him to get up and say, oh, I'm redeemed. I don't do that anymore. Yeah, now that daddy's president, right? But here's the thing, guys. It's come out as fact that he said that during a certain amount of years that he was using hardcore drugs, and he wasn't thinking about this, of course. But what everybody's bringing to light is that when he filled out the Form 4473 for the ATF, it was during the whole time period of when he says he was addicted and using hardcore drugs. So he lied, which is a federal offense to do, but nothing is going to come of that. Now, this is the same, this is the guy's son that wants universal background checks because he thinks that those work. Well, they see that the system failed with his own son. There's still things that get through that system that they have no way to know. You can smoke crack every single day, and which is what one of the substances Hunter was addicted to. But you could smoke crack every single day, and when you go to fill out that form, you could just mark the box no, to where it says, are you an illegal drug user, addicted to substances? You could write in no. Nobody would know because there's no way to verify that if you've not been arrested for it. So you can see right there, and of course the media. What I truly hate, guys. Look, I know people do things when people made mistakes, and if Hunter quit the drugs, which I honestly hope he did, good for him. I wouldn't want to see anybody addicted to drugs. I can't stand the guy, and there's other things I'm not even going to go into about this guy. But I would rather see him not on drugs. But can you imagine if Donald Trump Jr. had 1 ounce of this in his life, of what went on with Hunter, how the media would have played it 24/7, 365 days a year. You never would have heard the end of it. It would have been all over every media station, everywhere. There would have been memes about it and everything. But when it's Hunter, Twitter shut its... I don't know if you guys know this, that when a legitimate newspaper, I think it was the Washington Post, or the Washington Compost, believe it or not, I think they were the ones that they published a story to Twitter. They were the first ones. Twitter actually shut down worldwide. They said there was some kind of a problem. They said something was going on, and then it came back on and they banned that newspaper article. Why would they do that? This was before the election. That's because they're in the pocket of the Democrats. Now let me roll on with that. Let me tell you something further that a lot of people don't realize. Okay, so here is the narrative of what everybody's going to tell you, especially on the Dem side, and this is true. But I'm going to tell you how this is so wrong on so many levels. Now, Facebook, YouTube, Google, and Twitter are privately owned companies. We all agree. So, they could say they want to do anything that they want with speech. They could say, we're not going to let you use the word haircut. We're not going to let you use the word bicycle. And they could ban that speech, okay? Because freedom of speech only applies to the government. But let me tell you what the scary, slippery slope is that we're on. When these companies are not neutral, when Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and Google is in the pocket and is an extremist wing of the Democratic Party, and just an extension of the Democratic Party, and pushing all their views, it becomes the same thing as the Nazis shutting down free speech. Because while the government can't censor our speech, the biggest platforms on earth where we can speak our mind can shut down our free speech on behalf of the government and the Democrats. That is what is so scary. Yeah, a law enforcement officer can't come get you for what you say. The White House can't stop you from what you say. But the biggest platforms on earth to speak your mind can shut down your views and can act as a secondary censorship for freedom of speech. Agree with what you say. And that's what we're seeing here. This is one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. These social media things need to be completely neutral. They have to be in order for it to be fair. Because you see what's happening right now. They pulled that Hunter Biden story so quick, and it was all completely true. They did everything they can. They have so much power, it's unbelievable how much power that Google and Twitter and Facebook has when it comes to things like elections and things. It's unreal, the power that they have and that they hold. So by default, the Democrats can censor our speech. It's just coming from a secondary company. It would be like me making these videos and saying, hey, say whatever you want in the comments. You hate guns and you're against guns, go ahead and put it down in the comment below. Well, then I'm partnered with Viacom. Let's just say, this is a hypothetical. Viacom plays my show on the air, and then when I say you have freedom of speech, Viacom, who is right-wing, goes in and deletes all the comments to me that they don't agree with. But I say, hey, you can say whatever you want. This is what's happening. The government's saying, hey, you can say whatever you want, but then these big corporations and big tech that are that have the Democratic Party in their pocket, they're going to come along and censor what you say. The government doesn't have to do it. You'll have no way to get that voice out there. You'll have no way to tell hundreds of thousands of people when something happens, because they'll take it from you. And while they can sit back and say, Joe Biden can say, hey, say whatever you want about my son, whatever you want to do. Well, then the biggest places that speak your mind will just step in and censor that speech on the side. That's what's very scary. It can cut both ways. President Trump will be coming out with a social media site and I heard it's going to be something huge. You know how he does things. I can't wait for that. I hope it takes over the internet when that comes out. One quick little nice nugget of information. I want you guys to guess. There's a carry gun, other than the P365, the SIG I just got, there's another carry gun that I really want, and it's so popular, I can barely find it. And on GunBroker, they've been upping the prices a couple $100s in some cases. Now, this firearm is marketed for concealed carry, and it's been out for a little bit now. It's not just brand new, it's been out for a little bit now. And I want you guys to go to the comments below and see if you can guess what that is. I have one on the way. I called Fin Feather and Fur, and they did a search chain wide, and one of their stores had one laying in a display case. I said, I don't care, I'll take it. So see if you can guess below what that is, and I'll be hopefully back with a video real soon, because this is the way a firearm transfer like that works, guys. Even if Fin Feather and Fur gets the gun from another chain, it has to go back to the distributor, then back to the Fin Feather and Fur near me. I don't know if many of you know this. Let me go ahead and give you a little bit of info here for those of you that might not know. Gun stores do not get guns directly from gun companies. They don't get guns from SIG, Smith & Wesson, and Glock directly. Guns come into a distributor, and a distributor warehouses guns, and a distributor brings guns, and he shows up at all these stores, and he'll bring certain guns, or they might have a special out, like Smith might have a sale on their little revolvers. They did that before, and they'll put it in. They'll put it into Fin Feather and Fur, with a large quantity. But distributors have the right to ration what stores get when things get tight. So they can't just go to Fin Feather and Fur and give them 20 Bushmaster AR-15s when there's a gun scare and let them take them all, and then there's a gun store that they deal with 20 miles away that gets none. They distribute things out evenly, and they try to as much as they can. So that's kind of the way it works, guys. Just a little bit of info. Guns come from a distributor, not from the actual gun manufacturer. That's just how it works. All right, guys, until next time, I hope you found this video informative, and I'll talk to you real soon. DOF out.